Jim, could you tell us a little bit about, I know you've been through several trials and
Yes.
challenges. What's helped strengthen you, to face those things and get through those things?
Okay, let's go back 22 years when I was deer hunting. It was a beautiful day, bright, sunny, October 8th at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I was climbing a tree to go archery hunting, and something happened, and I fell out of the tree 18 feet. I landed on my back between rocks that were all around me. I didn't hit any rocks, which is a miracle in itself. And when I was laying there, I didn't know what happened. When I awakened and opened my eyes, everything was dark, gray, dead. And at that point, I thought, I must be dead because I don't know what happened. And I just said, God, please help me. And as soon as I made that statement, everything became bright the way it was when I fell out of the tree. And there were many things that happened that day that the only way it happened was God-driven. And that made a complete jump start in my faith. And now we go ahead 22 years or 21 years later, and I thought I was the best physical shape of my life. I was kickboxing, I was teaching Tai Chi, and I noticed that I was getting short of breath. So I thought, I'll go to the doctor and see what's going on. So I went to the doctor, and they did all kinds of tests. I'll make a long story short. And they said, you have to go see a oncologist. So this scared the heck out of me and my wife. We didn't know what to think at this time. And of course, like most people, I went to the internet and I went to WebMD, which was a mistake because everything on there that I saw, that I read about, was bad. And I was hoping, I saw this one disease and I was hoping, oh, I hope I don't have this. So they took all kind of blood tests, and I went to the Dr. Tabitha Bai, very good cancer doctor. I went into his office on the day of reckoning, and when he came in the office to give me the blood report, the look on his face was, this isn't going to be good. So I just sat there, and he got his pencil and paper out and wrote MDS. And lo and behold, that's exactly the disease that I didn't want to hear about or see, because I just could not believe that this was happening to me. So when it was all said and done, he told me I have 2 years to live or get a bone marrow transplant. I looked at him, or my wife looked at him and said, he will get his bone marrow transplant. So that's where it all began from that point on. And having the faith that I gained from falling out of the tree was so helpful to me, because I got to the point from being physically fit, I couldn't walk 3 steps. I was out of breath. I had no immune system. It was just terrible. And mentally, it was destroying me. And physically knowing I couldn't do anything. So my wife, being very strong, helped me tremendously. We prayed together. We read the Bible. All the doctors and everything that happened in between my bone marrow transplant worked out perfectly. It was God-driven. They called me August 12th. They said, we have a prospect for your donor for the bone marrow. 5 minutes later, or 5 days later, they called me and said, this guy backed out. And we thought, oh my, here we go. Because we were so excited that we were finally going to get this over. 10 days later, they called back and said they have another donor. A man from Germany, 43 years old, said he's going to donate. Report to the hospital, September 13th. I reported to the hospital. They gave me 5 days of chemo, killed everything, and gave me the transplant on the 15th, I think, something like that. And while we were in there getting the transplant, Judy Beth prayed, and we made this prayer every day. Let God do his work, and it will work. And we prayed that every day from the transplant on. And every day from that point on, they said things that were going to happen to me didn't happen. They said, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. It didn't happen. Everything worked perfectly. I almost felt guilty because I met some people up there that had the same thing, and they didn't do as well as I did. In fact, some of them are now with God. So, and the strength I got from you, the church, the people, the prayers. I was getting prayers from South Carolina because my niece lived down there. I could just feel it. I really could. And every Sunday that I was sick, that's the best I felt every week. That was the best day because I think of prayer. People were praying for me and wanting me to get better. And my wife, she was my soul. I mean, she did everything. She was with me throughout this whole process. And we prayed. And I don't think once did we say anything about leaving this world. Because we knew with the faith we have, if I'm going to leave the world, it's his will. But we just had the feeling that he's going to make me stronger, which I did get stronger, and I'm not as strong as I was. They said I'll never get that strength back. But I'm out hunting.
A year
fishing.
later, after you had the transplant, you had the opportunity then to go hunting again.
Oh, yes. We went into the office. I was going to Hershey, and it was the first day of deer. And I asked the doctor, Ripka was his name, and I said, this is the first day of deer hunting. Would I be able to go? And he looked at my wife, and my wife was going like this. And he said, well, if you think you can do it, just don't touch anything. So I told Judy Beth, I said, well, I'm going to run down. This Lowell has a tree stand, tree house. One guy was pushing me up. The other guy had a rope and was pulling me up, put me in position in this tree house. It was about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And I had a guy, I was shaking so badly from my medicine. The guy that was with me was going to be my eyes and ears. And about a half hour after I got in the tree stand, a big 8-point went broadside. He said, there it is, shoot. Well, I'm shaking really bad. I just took my breath, squeezed the trigger, and he went right down. So the disease I had is myelodysplastic syndrome. So we call him my MDS deer. So, yeah, that was...
And I also know that you went out west hunting and had some difficulties with that first hunt, but you just recently were out west again, hunting for elk.
Yes. Again, getting back to my illness, after I went through all this, I made a bucket list. And number one on my bucket list, I've talked about this for years, was to go elk hunting. I said, as soon as I'm better, I'm going elk hunting. And like you said, the first year wasn't too good because our guide had appendicitis, so he was laid up. This year we went out, and on the third day, I shot a big 5x5. So God is good.
All the time.
All the time. Yes.
So what would you say to folks who are going through difficulties and having a difficult time?
I would say put your faith in the Lord. Read the Bible. There is a lot out there that you can read, verses that will help you with your health. Don't give up. You'll get depressed. You'll think this is it, but you have to keep on going and do whatever you can to make yourself stronger. And God will show you the way. Prayer is the answer. I really believe that. I mean, from the time I fell out of that tree until now, the only reason I'm here is because God is putting me here, and there's something more that I must do. So You just have to have faith in the Lord. And if it doesn't work out, then know that where you're going to be free. You're going to be healthy. And the one thing that really concerned me the most, I wasn't afraid of dying. I really wasn't. The only thing that worried me was what Judy Beth would do, how she could handle this. But I was not afraid of going to be with the Lord. And that really made this journey much better.
Jim, you said that you aren't physically as strong as you used to be.
No.
But are you stronger in other ways?
Oh, Pastor Ron, without a doubt. The Lord, I mean, you know, when I was younger, I would think nothing could happen, you know, and I went to church, but sometimes I was on the fence, like, how can these things be happening if we have a God? And when I fell out of that tree, I got off the fence, to be honest. And I really believed and truly believed in what was happening because of the Lord. And it has made me so much stronger and believing that there really is a Lord, there's a God, there's life after, and we're all going to be together again. And it's just really an amazing feeling. Truly is.
Well, thank you, Jim. I appreciate you sharing your story with us.
Sure. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.